Today I have director Alex Raymond of the TV pilot The Deli. Alex, how are you today?
I am good. How are you? Thanks for
I'm
having me.
doing well. Thank you so much for coming on. So, Alex, can you tell our live viewers a bit about your short film?
So The Deli is a TV pilot. It's
Mhm.
sort of a workplace comedy about a bunch of people who work at a New Jersey Jewish deli that is a front for the mafia. And I like to think of it as The Office meets The Sopranos. It's a mockumentary, funny. It's got some action. It's got good characters. Hopefully, it's fun to watch.
That sounds like a great combo just together. I personally love The Office and I've seen some of The Sopranos. That sounds like such a great combination. How did you come up with that idea?
So I guess there are kind of like two stories, and I'll try and run through them pretty quickly. So
Mhm.
I was up for a job in LA. I'm a screenwriter, and I'd submitted a sort of a dramedy, and the person I submitted it to said, "Love this script. We don't think that you're funny enough. Do you have a comedy sample?" And I didn't, and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, of course I do. Let me just clean it up. Just give me a week, and I'll send it over to you." And then I walk out of my office and I'm pacing around and I'm like, all right, now I got to come up with a comedy. And this just popped into my head because it's based on a story from my childhood. I grew up in New Jersey in Wycliffe Lake, and there was this deli that everybody would go to every Sunday called Ronnie's Deli. And it was like sort of the heart of the community. And, everybody went there after, fun runs and after synagogue to schmooze. And I just spent every weekend there. And it was run by this guy named Ronnie, who was this just like super cool, funny, good looking guy who had all the Jewish mothers in the neighborhood wrapped around his finger. It was like a family place. But one Sunday, we go there and Ronnie's not there. And he's not there the next day, he's not there the next day. And it turned out that Ronnie had been murdered. And quickly we found out that Ronnie didn't just run a deli, Ronnie was in the mob. And this deli was a front for his mob operation. And so it suddenly sent the entire town into a tailspin. And I'm rethinking my entire childhood. Like when I had my 10th birthday party at the front of the deli, what was happening in the back? And so this story had been in my mind for a while. And just the idea that these characters that I'd interacted with, the waiter, the cashier, like, were they actually, brilliant money launderers or hitmen? And, the reality is they're probably not. They're probably, and they might have known something about what was going on in the back, but they were just normal people who were clocking in, clocking out, and kind of like holding their noses at the parts of their jobs that they didn't like, just like the rest of us. And so that kind of was the inspiration for the deli. And of course, me trying to prove to somebody that I was funny enough to get this job, which I submitted the script to, and I did. So it's kind of
I
where it came from.
Whoa, that is insane. Like, that's so funny. That's crazy. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
pretty
So
wild.
yeah, no, and I mean, like myself, like I actually like my mom was raised Jewish, and then she had a stepdad that was Italian and Philly, wink nudge. So that's like hitting so much home for me right now. Like that's so crazy. I love that storyline, and I mean, like that story itself is crazy. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope he's allowed to be saying this, but the fact that he knows about it means it's already out there. So like, but that's so
It's
cool.
like it's the kind of thing where the whole town knew about it, and it's just kind of like one of those legends of Wycliffe Lake, Hillsdale, that sort of area. And it's sad, but it's also interesting
Mhm.
just to kind of look at like who were these people, what did their lives actually look like, and I think it was fun to explore in a kind of, as the deli is, just an absurd way.
So when you wrote, so you have this TV pilot, is it out and you're working on trying to get it approved for a whole series? Is it already? Like what's up with that?
So we're working on with my management. We're working
Mhm.
on pitching it right now. So we're just trying, like looking for the right partners before going to networks. And we've got, a whole plan for the series. I've got my, as you do, a series Bible and a whole bunch of episode pitches. So there's a really fun plan for where it goes, and hopefully I'll be able to tell the whole story someday. But if not, as most things in Hollywood don't sell, and if they sell, they don't make it to air. But I'm just glad to be able to have shot this thing, which is just like I'm so proud of, and I think is so much fun. A lot of people I know they'll shoot something and they'll just like forget about it. I can't watch my own work. I happen to love this. I will watch it when I'm down. I will watch it just to make myself laugh. Um, and I'm happy that it's something that I'm proud enough of, that I'm happy to show people, and I'm excited to show it at this festival.
Well, I love the storyline of it, and I think it's such a different storyline. Like, there's nothing else I feel like that's like out right now that's like that. So, best of luck with that. I really hope that that does end up working out for you with this. With that said, though, how did you find all of your cast and crew members for this TV pilot?
Yeah, so I mean, as far as the crew, I've done a lot of these short films and proof of concept pilots. So our DP Garrett O'Brien, I'd worked with on a bunch of other things before. Our producer Nabir Khan, I got connected with through one of my wife's friends, and the executive producers. One of them was my wife Jory. One of them was my writing partner Jay Gard. So that all came together pretty easily, just through just friends and people I'd worked with before. And the cast was mainly people I'd worked with on a TV show that I was in the writers' room on, called The Magicians, that's on Netflix. So Rizwan Manji, who plays Neil the Boss, Trevor Einhorn, who plays Harry, the sort of main character, one of the sort of muscle guys for the gang, and Summer Bishel, who plays Sonia, who's another one of the crew members. I'd worked with all of them on The Magicians, and they're super fun actors, and they've all been on a bunch of stuff, and I knew that they would be perfect for these roles. Rizwan, he plays Neil the Boss. I had originally written it as just like a dorky Jewish guy, just white Jewish guy.
Mhm.
And we were thinking about who to cast for this role, and we thought about Rizwan, and I rewrote the entire script for him. That Rizwan is Indian American guy, and I rewrote it as a guy, Indian guy, who converts to Judaism in order to run this Jewish deli, which is completely unnecessary. Like,
Oh no, that just makes it sound like so much more like I'm already laughing. You know what I mean? Like you don't hear about that kind of thing happening.
yeah, so and he was totally down to do it, and
Mhm,
everybody was down for, what is essentially like a pretty low budget thing
mhm,
that we all just, chipped in our time in. Um, and so yeah, and the one cast member that was really hard to find was the intern, was Josh, which called for a 17, 18-year-old kid who had a lot of range, who could do comedy, who could do a little bit of drama, and we had trouble finding that. And we worked with a few casting directors that we know from town, and we found this kid, Charlie Corman, who ended up playing Josh, and was just unbelievable. Was really like, I think everybody gave me something surprising, but Charlie really it was just a shock how well he adapted to the character, and he had a lot of really good improv moments. He's since gone on. He's been on Hacks. He's been on Barry. He's writing his own stuff now, so he's very impressive. So I was very happy with the cast, and I was grateful that they all put aside their big TV shows and movies that they were doing to do this thing for a few days.
I mean, I'm, like, so excited for you, like, in a way, it's like I'm kind of fangirling because, like, just, like, the storyline that you gave me, like, I wanna watch the whole series already, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm
So
so
do
excited for you, and I'm so excited for everybody to get to watch this. So, what do you want, your audience members to take from this pilot?
I think, look, I think that there are a lot of filmmakers out there who are making very important stories, and who are talking about important social issues, and who are really making you think and affecting you and making you leave the theater and just kind of like, whoa, like what did I just watch? Let me rethink my life. And power to them. That's not me. I would just want you to have fun. I literally just want you to take a break from your life, sit down, watch this thing, laugh, see a few good action scenes, and just enjoy yourself. If you walk out of the theater and you were like, I'm glad that I spent those 30 minutes watching this thing, and I had fun and I laughed a few times, I've succeeded. That's all I want.
I mean, I'm sure you're gonna have people just rolling the whole time. So, with that said, you had mentioned that you've done a few works already. I mean, you're out in LA, you're saying that you've got these connections already. Do you mind talking a bit about, your background, your experience, and what you've done so far?
Yeah, so I started out in Hollywood like most people as an assistant. I worked for a writer director named Joe Carnahan who did like Smokin' Aces, The Gray, The A Team, and we worked on The Blacklist together.
Mhm.
We did a bunch of movies, TV projects, commercials. I eventually worked my way up into the writers' room on a show called The Magicians. That's kind of like an adult Harry Potter. It's based on a series of novels that are amazing, truly, truly great by Lev Grossman. So I wrote on that show for 3 years. And then the show ended after season 5, as you know, all things do. And I went off and just developed a bunch of stuff. I shot a proof of concept for a show called Group that I created with my wife based on the true story of how we met in group therapy in LA, which is a big no-no to date somebody from your therapy group, and that's
That
kind of
sounds
like
like it's going great.
that's part of the show. So we shot that proof of concept. We sold it to Warner
Mhm.
Brothers. We're developing that right now, and I mainly work with a writing partner, who's my best friend Jay, and we just finished writing a movie for Picture Start and Eric Feig, who's the producer who did, stuff like Hunger Games and Twilight and La La Land and Being a Wallflower. So we just finished writing a movie for him. We're developing a bunch of stuff. We're working with. I do all kinds of genres. Like
Mhm.
Deli is a comedy, action comedy that I love. Group is sort of more of a rom com, but
Mhm.
also I love genre. I love fantasy. I love sci-fi, and I love history. So Jay and I are working with Time Magazine. We're doing this essentially their Person of the Year show, where every season would profile a different Time Person of the Year. And so we're trying to get that off the ground. We have a good idea for the first season. We're trying to find talent. And yeah, and otherwise, I'm just doing the LA writer thing of just going to meetings, pitching, and just seeing what happens.
That's so exciting to get to listen to you talking about how much experience you have with so many successful works like this. So, do you have any, advice that you can give some filmmakers, directors, writers that are just getting, off their feet right now?
Um, yeah, I mean, I guess the best advice I would have is, the way I got into the business was by being an assistant for like 5 years, and just sucking it up and doing what I had to do, and then leveraging that into a more entry level position in the writer's room. That's kind of the most typical way to get in. But like creatively, I would say just like follow your heart, I do, like I said, all kinds of stuff from sci-fi to fantasy to comedy. And people have often told me to pick a lane. You should be the fantasy guy, you should be the comedy guy. And I have actively resisted that. And it's led to me getting jobs in comedy and fantasy and sci-fi and drama and whatever. So I would say just follow your gut, find the stories that you love, write something that makes you laugh or feel engaged, and just don't listen to what the market wants or what you think is going to be hot. Just do something that you love, and everyone else will respond.
Do you have a favorite? Like,
TV show?
uh, like a favorite, like thing that you've done, whether it be like a genre or a specific show, or like, or just a thing like a part, like whether it's like director, writer, you know,
I mean,
producer.
I love writing and directing. I love just the idea of creation, of just like coming up with an idea and
Mhm.
bringing it to life by having actors play it out. I have to say, I think my favorite thing I've ever done is the Deli. I just like truthfully, acknowledging that this is an interview for the Deli. This is my favorite thing I've ever done. I love dramatic stuff. I love genre, but this to me was just so much fun. It touches on this story from my childhood. It touches on, Jewish culture. It's
Mhm.
got action. It's got comedy. It plays on it. It scratches that Office itch. I've watched The
Mhm.
Office and The Sopranos 10
Uh-huh.
times through,
As
and
we should.
Everyone should. And just like feeling desperate for something in that vein, this to me just the way that it came out with the action scene, with the actors and their performances, I'm just really proud of it, top to bottom. And of course, the actor made the script 100 times better. And I'm really grateful for that. So I got to say, the Deli is the thing I'm most proud of that I've ever done.
And as you should, because guys, it's going to be screening here on Saturday, March 25th at the showroom from 8:30 p.m. to 10:45. Alex, I'm so excited. Will I be meeting you in person at the festival?
I have some family stuff I have to look at, but I hope to be there. I really hope to be there. It's my
Well, I
hometown
hope
festival,
to.
so I hope to be there.
Absolutely. Well, I do hope that I get to meet you in person. And I hope that, this was a great start to your day out on the West Coast because it's still earlier for you. But have a great rest of your day and best of luck with everything if I don't get to meet you in person.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. You too.
Thank you.